Mr. V. Shankar, PGP batch 18, to come on stage for the next award.
May I request Director to greet Mr. Shankar with a flower bouquet and a shawl. May I request Mr. Ajit Balakrishnan to greet Mr. Shankar with the Distinguished Alumnus Award Trophy and a scroll. May I request Professor Palash Deb to come on stage and read the citation for Mr. Shankar.
Good evening. We take immense pleasure in honoring Mr. V. Shankar for his outstanding entrepreneurial achievements. Shankar, an alumnus of the 18th PGDM of IIM Calcutta and an engineering graduate from IIT Madras, founded the Computer Age Management Services Private Limited, or CAMS. After working in FMCG company for a few years, Shankar switched to entrepreneurship in 1987. He left a corporate career for his first startup in the area of computer education. This had started as a promising venture that soon became a leader in the South. Shankar's next startup was in IT industry. As Y2K approached, the prospects for computer software shifted to the overseas market. And by the year 2000, there was almost no credible IT services company serving the domestic market. That is when Shankar decided that the domestic financial services marketplace was to be his focus, and the area of operation was to be in managed services, not just IT services. The Indian financial services marketplace was transforming in that period, and Shankar founded CAMS to provide fintech services. CAMS is a technology-based financial infrastructure provider for mutual funds, VCFs, insurance companies, and is considered to be a valuable private addition to the capital structure infrastructure. In 2000, the HDFC Group invested into CAMS, facilitating growth in its chosen businesses. In 2014, India's premier exchange, the NSE, took a significant position in the company. Serving as a SEBI-regulated entity, CAMS brings highest standards of governance and oversight to its operations, servicing more than 5 crore investor accounts with assets in excess of INR 9 trillion. After professionalizing CAMS, Shankar focused on angel investing, his second passion. As a member of the Chennai Angels and the Indus Entrepreneurs, he participates in the process of angel investing, which includes mentoring and support to budding entrepreneurs. A voracious reader, Shankar is interested in travel, music, and charitable activities. He has made significant financial contributions to charities for the old, health initiatives for the disadvantaged, and education for the underprivileged. We acknowledge Shankar's accomplishments with enormous pride and bestow upon him the Institute's highest honor for its alumni, the Distinguished Alumnus Award, given this 14th day of November 2016. Thank you.
May I request Mr. Shankar to share a few thoughts.
This institute is my alma mater, and you know, alma mater means a generous mother. And what could be more uplifting than a mother recognizing the achievements of one's own child? And therefore, it is particularly pleasing for me, and it's a great honor for me to be recognized. Thank you. Also, if you look at the list of previous awardees and the current awardees, to be simply placed on the same footing with people of that caliber is itself an achievement. So that's another reason I feel particularly pleased at this award. And the third reason, which is perhaps unique to me, is I'll have to go back a little bit. You see, I was born in Calcutta. I have a younger sister. We spent most of our childhood here, studied here and so on. And my sister followed me into this institute a few years after I did. And she was, in fact, one of the first distinguished alumnus awardees of this institution, receiving it 5 years before I did. And so, you can imagine that I am really pleased, and I'm sure my parents will be too. So, I know Ramraj for a while, and we all know that he started SIFI. And obviously, as IT Person of the Year, he has been recognized for many skills. One skill I did not know he had, which I figured out now, is that he managed to hack into my computer and say exactly what I was planning to say. So obviously that's a skill you get, Ram. I will spend a minute or two on my company. You see, it is not a B2C company. It is not a current generation startup. So it is not talked about in the newspapers and so on. And if the institute has seen merit in the organization, I guess there must be something in it. So I will spend a minute on it. We call businesses by different names today than we used to. So we now have SaaS, we now have platforms. These are terms which I guess are more current, and we have to learn to start calling ourselves by that name. But the essence of it is that what we have is a B2B platform, much like an exchange, and in fact conceptually not very dissimilar from Snapdeal or Flipkart or Amazon or any of these platforms, which bring manufacturers and consumers on one page. That's what a platform does. In our case, the manufacturers happen to be sellers of mutual funds and other products, other financial products. The customers are people who buy them. There is a small twist, however. When you buy a physical good, you take it away and the transaction ends there. When you buy a financial product, it most probably is a book entry. It most probably is a piece of paper that you receive, evidencing title to that ownership. And therefore, your relationship with the manufacturer continues forever, as long as you hold that product. Unlike a soap or a toothpaste which you consume and maybe you move on to the next soap. So, as part of our platform role, we don't merely have to facilitate the transaction, we also have to hold the customer relationship as long as the customer chooses to be invested in that product, which could be 5 years, 10 years. We are 30 years old today as a company, around 29 years old. So there are customers who have been on our platform for over 20 years. Some metrics that we all learn, I guess, such as the value of transactions that happen on your platform as opposed to the money that you earn out of it, which is the gross GMV, whatever it's called. The GMV of our platform, it's not at all an appropriate metric. It's totally inappropriate, but because it is contemporary, I am pointing it out, the GMV of our platform is probably 1.5 times the GNP of our country, because that's the velocity at which money moves through the platform. So this only goes to show that the GMV is a totally inappropriate metric, because if we were earning anywhere near that, then I would be a different person. A couple of minutes on our time at the Institute, 18th batch. Not very old, but not very young either. We had the one hostel. But we had a great deal more fun, I like to believe, than people today have. We could actually swim in the lake. We had boats which could take us through all the lakes. The favorite pastime was trying to figure out, we only had 5 girls in the batch or something. So the question was, who could get a girl to sit on a boat with you in the morning to go out and read a newspaper in the middle of the lake? That was the competition. And the person who could get that done the very first. And we had the RJTC. I don't know if it still exists or not. It will probably be considered misogynistic and racist or whatever at this point. But we used to have something called the RJTC. Great fun, enormous fun. If you don't know what it is, then offline we will talk about it, not something we talked about. So as Ram said, I wholeheartedly echo that I entered as a 20 years and 6 months old boy into this institute. But when I left, I was like half a man. I was not yet a man, but I was half a man. It made me the seed of what I am today. And I'm eternally grateful to the institute for the transformation they did into me. With this, I want to once again thank the committee that chose me and wish you all the best. Bye.